All right, we're back for a brand new book called The Littles and the Lost Children. So this is the description of the book. Trouble in Trash City. Major Nick Little and a band of soldiers from Trash City come across a scary scene in the town dump. A tiny person's camp has been attacked, and inside the tent are two tiny babies Major Nick has never seen before. Where'd the babies come from? What happened to their parents? Did the big black bird seen outside the tent have anything to do with the mystery? This is an exciting adventure about people who are no more than 6 inches tall. So we're going to start today with the prologue for this book. And the prologue is like an introductory chapter to sort of introduce us to the story and how it's going to be told. This one will be a little different than our past books. I'm outside today because it's beautiful. The sun is shining, so I figured I would start filming. Yeah, and that's it. Let's get started on The Littles and the Lost Children. Uncle Nick, it's your turn to tell a story, said Lucy Little, aged 8. Tell us the story about the small fries again. I love it. No, Lucy, said Uncle Nick. I've told that story for the last time. Ah, said Lucy's 10-year-old brother Tom. Come on, Uncle Nick, please. Uncle Nick held a book up for everyone to see. I won't tell the story because I'm going to read it, said Uncle Nick. He smiled. Yes, sir, I've written my first book. I'm an author now. A small book for tiny people. The Littles were indeed tiny people. The tallest Little, Tom's and Lucy's father, Mr. William T. Little, was only 6 inches tall. The tiny Littles lived in a small 10-room apartment inside the walls of a house owned by Mr. George Bigg. Mr. Bigg was a regular-sized person. He and his wife and their son, Henry, never knew the Littles were living in the same house with them. The Littles were careful not to show themselves when the Biggs were around. Even though they were tiny, the Littles looked like ordinary people. The one difference was the Littles had tails. The tails weren't useful. They just looked good in the Littles' thought. Because the Littles stayed hidden from the Biggs a lot, they had to find ways to entertain themselves in their apartment. A favorite thing was to read or tell stories. This evening, everyone turned to Uncle Nick and his new book. Read your story to us, Uncle Nick, said Mrs. Little. She cradled her 7-month-old baby in her arms. I don't think baby Betsy has heard it. Mother, said Lucy, babies can't understand stories. Don't be so sure of that, said Mr. Little. Babies are smarter than you think, Lucy, said Cousin Dinky Little. Say no more, commanded Uncle Nick, or you might give away the most important part. Just settle back and listen. It's a remarkable tale, and it really happened. So that's it. That's the introduction to our book. So the rest of this book is going to be Uncle Nick's story. So you guys have an assignment in the Google Classroom. You're going to click on the Google form. You'll answer some reading comprehension and vocabulary comprehension questions, and then come up with a prediction for a question that I have for you. And that's it. This is going to be a good book. It's full of adventure. All right, see you guys next time.